winning, being the best of the best. It's basically the goal in life, to come out on top versus everyone else. The survival of the fittest. Throughout history, the best have been the ones who had the best natural attributes and could survive. The ones who could outlast the test of time. The ones who were simply remembered. Or the ones who lived longer, through what they could do, could simply be the ones who won. The ones who were lost would just be wiped out. When you think about it, it shows the violence of Mother Nature. But around 1.4 million years ago, this would all change. Homo sapiens were the first species to be the ones who were physically weak, yet could rise against the odds. Despite our small stature and bizarre movement, we would eventually come to conquer every species in the land around us. Comparing Homo sapiens to other animals involves acknowledging our unique cognitive abilities, social structures, and technological advancements. Homo sapiens as a species have demonstrated an unparalleled capacity for complex reasoning, abstract thinking, and problem solving. Our ability to communicate through sophisticated language has allowed the transmission of knowledge across multiple generations, fostering cultural development. The creation and the utilisation of tools, coupled with our capacity for innovation, has propelled us to dominate various environments. Additionally, our highly developed social structures, including intricate familial and societal relationships, contribute to the cohesion and organisation of human communities. While every species plays a vital role in the ecosystem, Homo sapiens' cognitive prowess has enabled us to shape the world in ways that no other species can, both for better and for worse. Around the 1800s, there was nothing else left for mankind to conquer. Everything was already found, every piece of land was touched by man. Life can become monotonous when there is no competition from other life forms, when there's nothing up for grabs. So, what drives us? What inspires us? What keeps us going? Competition. The idea of competition within a species has been recorded for centuries. The Romans were well known for their forms of competition. Gladiator fighting is one of them. It's a form of competition where two men fight for each other's lives, where the ones who win are the ones who live. There are also other forms like sport. The Olympics, for example, created by the ancient Greeks as a form of entertainment to see who would come out on top, giving out medals to the victors. But in the modern day, competition is a lot different, where physicality isn't much of an issue and pretty much anyone can win. If you don't win a competition, you have nothing to lose, but you have everything to gain. Non-sport competitions encompass a diverse array of artistic, intellectual and skill-based endeavours that challenge participants in areas beyond the physical realm. From academic debates and chess tournaments to music competitions and art exhibitions, these events celebrate human creativity, ingenuity and mastery. In non-sport competitions, individuals or teams must showcase their expertise, often pushing the boundaries of human achievement. These contests foster a spirit of healthy rivalry, encouraging participants to continually refine their skills and pursue excellence. Unlike sports, non-sport competitions emphasise mental acuity, artistic expression and technical proficiency, highlighting the multifaceted nature of human talent and passion. This new form of competition has allowed for comparison from generation to generation, where you can question the achievements of old and see if they can be broken, to see if you could better them and become one of the best of the best. So I pose a question for you to keep in mind as you watch this. Who is the best of the best, and what makes that so? The Guinness World Records are a collection of facts and measurements of the natural extreme and human achievements. Everyone watching this has probably read the book at one point when they were younger, reading upon the strangest records there were. The most tattoos, the largest animals, even the fastest toilet. The concept was created by Sir Hugh Beaver in 1951 when he had an argument with a friend about the length of a certain bird whilst out game hunting. They were discussing if the golden plover or the red grouse was longer in length. He had realised that there was no way of discovering which one was longer, so they couldn't set the argument because there was no benchmark. Slightly aggravated by this debate, he thought that others would share his frustration, so he commissioned two brothers that ran a fact-finding agency, Norris and Ross McWhirter, to create the Guinness Book of Records, which was released in 1954 and became the best-selling book by Christmas of that year. The world had never seen anything like it. A place where you could see the best of the best. a delve into the summit of natural and human capabilities, a benchmark for excellence, though sometimes in a comedic sense. Ashrita Furman, the man with the most records. He set over 300 records in a period spanning over 30 years. A lot of his records are oddly distinct. Even so, his name has been immortalised in the book, where he can say he is the best at what he does. Being creative is the way in which he has become the best. He's got a lot of funny records. The fastest time to run 8 kilometres in stilts, the longest consecutive time standing on a Swiss ball, even the fastest time to run a mile while balancing a milk bottle on his head. Creativity is the lifeblood of excellence in competition, offering a unique edge that propels individuals to stand out as the best. Creativity fuels innovation, allowing competitors to devise novel strategies, solutions, and approaches that set them apart from the rest. It enables individuals to see opportunities where others see challenges, fostering a mindset that thrives on adaptability and resilience. In a rapidly changing world, the capacity to think outside the box becomes a strategic asset, empowering competitors to navigate uncertainties with ingenuity. Moreover, creativity injects passion and enthusiasm into one's pursuits, fostering a dynamic and engaging presence that captivates audiences and judges alike. Ultimately, the pursuit of excellence in any competition is intricately linked to the cultivation and application of creativity, as it serves as the catalyst for achieving unparalleled success. You don't really get much for breaking a record. All you get is a plaque, and maybe, if you're lucky, your name in next year's revision of the book. Yet some have gone to the extreme at trying to get their name in the book, to flaunt their plaque and their achievement. Many animals that have broken their weight record have had their owners overfeeding them to the point of danger just for a plaque. Sometimes, the human desire to be the best can come at a cost to others. The Michelin stars. Everyone's heard of them. The sign that a restaurant is probably one of the best in the world. But where did it start? The concept goes back to 1889, when the Michelin Tire Company was founded by Edouard and André Michelin. That's right, the tyre company with a big fat ghost-looking mascot are the ones who created this award. When the concept of car travel started to pick up, the brothers decided to create a guide to French motoring and travelling. It contained maps, the location of restaurants, hotels, mechanics and petrol stations across France. A magazine of sorts. The plan was to release this magazine in hopes to boost the idea of car travel and thus more tyre sales. By 1909, the first guide for France was written in English, and by 1911 they had released 9 guides for 9 different locations and countries. The magazine was initially given out for free for over 15 years, until, as the story goes, André was at a car garage when he saw the guide being used as a wedge to prop up a workbench, and then 2 years later they decided to charge for it. The guide went on to become one of the biggest in France, and the restaurant section really began to pick up. So in 1926 they decided to enhance the guide, so they added a category system and to also give out stars to restaurants that were good, as a way to advise motorists that these places were worth a visit on their travels, be it by car or by horse. This star system was influenced by a guide called Murray's Guide to Cuisine, which he gave out stars to restaurants around the globe based on how good the food was. Later on, the brothers decided to input a grading system with 4 rankings, 0 to 3, with 1, a very good restaurant in this category, 2, excellent cooking, worth a detour, 3, exceptional cuisine, worth a special journey, with 0 just being listed. The boost to business through gaining the Michelin star was immense, being that the Michelin Guide was already widely known throughout France, with most restaurant goers owning the Little Red Book. In 1936, the criteria was released by Michelin on how to get a star. As they go, they're the quality of ingredients, the harmony of flavours, the mastery of techniques, the personality of the chef as expressed through their cuisine, and just as importantly, consistency both across the entire menu and over time. The way that a restaurant would get a Michelin star is through Michelin sending anonymous critics who sit and dine at the establishment, and they give a rating based on the previously mentioned criteria. It can take multiple visits from different critics until a rank is agreed upon. But why should chefs care about the star? Well, arguably, the greatest chef of all time, Paul Bocuse, said that Michelin is the only guide that counts. Having the LeBron James of cooking say that about the book really does put some money behind it. However, some would say the other side of the star isn't always brighter. Marco Pierre White, a man who sacrificed everything to be the best. Born in 1961, the son of a chef, Frank White, the son of an immigrant. He had it tough when he was younger. His mother died when he was 6. He left school at 16 with no qualifications. With nothing left to lose, he decided to follow in his father's footsteps and work as a chef. He started working at a restaurant called the Box Street. The only thing he had was the change in his pocket to his name. He persevered through poverty and challenges, constantly learning from the head chef Albert Roux, until a man named Pierre Kaufmann took notice of him. Pierre Kaufmann had the stars which Marco so desired. He wanted to learn, so he worked for free for nearly a month, as they couldn't afford to pay him. He worked nearly 6 years tirelessly, 80 hours a week at least, working with the best of the best to learn how to create the best of the best. Where after those 6 years, he created his own masterpiece, a restaurant named Harvey's. Opened in 1987 with great expectations. The man who was taken under the wing by the greatest chef in Britain at the time. He was expected to deliver, and he did. 2 stars in the first year. Excellent cooking, worth a detour, Michelin would say. He had become the youngest chef in Britain to earn 5 stars when he opened his second restaurant in 1995. He had done it. He had got what he had dreamt of when he was younger. Everything he ever wanted. Marco had sacrificed everything, persevered through poverty, lack of education, and the general inequity of the world. Perseverance, the cornerstone of personal and professional success, serving as a driving force that propels individuals beyond obstacles and challenges. It is the unwavering commitment to a goal or pursuit despite setbacks, failures, or moments of doubt. The importance of perseverance lies in its transformative power to turn adversity into opportunity, setbacks into stepping stones. Perseverance not only fuels achievement, but also fosters personal growth, instilling a sense of discipline, determination, and resilience. In the face of difficulties, it acts as a guiding principle that encourages individuals to stay on course, learn from setbacks, and emerge stronger on the other side. Ultimately, it is the indomitable spirit of perseverance that transforms aspirations into tangible accomplishments. He had become the best, top of the world's competition. He had got everything he never had. But after 4 more years of being on top of the game, he gave his stars back and retired. Why would a man at the top of the world give it all up? Well, being the best doesn't always live up to what you think it does. A star, the restaurant that you worked your whole life for to sculpt and be a haven for critics, just for it to be advised as a detour in a little red book. Marco was disappointed. Being at the top didn't change anything. He was still working just as hard and had nothing to gain. I was being judged by people who had less knowledge than me, so what was it truly worth? I gave Michelin inspectors too much respect, and I belittled myself. I had 3 options. I could be a prisoner of my world and continue to work 6 days a week. I could live a lie and charge high prices and not be behind the stove. Or I could give back my stars, spend time with my children and reinvent myself. He gave it up because truly, being the best is what you make of the best. You could make microwave mac and cheese and call that the best. Being the best is purely a matter of opinion. On top of that, the Michelin Guide came under heavy criticism at the turn of the century by a man who had worked on the inside as a critic. Pascal Remy, a Michelin inspector for over a decade, when in 2003 he decided to release a published work about his life as an inspector and how his role worked. He states that his life as an inspector was extremely classified. Some inspectors were instructed not to tell their parents about their line of work to maintain standards. The life on the road was depressing. Driving alone up and down France just to give someone a star, tasting the same food over and over and over again and hoping for a different flavour, trying to break Einstein's definition of insanity. He also stated that some chefs were untouchable, such as the previously mentioned Bocuse. Even if their food wasn't up to a standard, they would rate his kitchens highly. There's also an apparent case of bias towards French cuisine. About a decade and a half ago, the Union Square Cafe was one of the most highly rated restaurants in New York, not just through word of mouth, but also by other journalists and critics. And yet the restaurant never received a star from Michelin. Why? they served Italian-American food. Take this as you may, but in my opinion, I think this drops the benchmark of the Michelin star. Some young chefs like our Marco may well have never got the star if he didn't cook French cuisine. He may well have never have got the star which he sacrificed so much for. The holy grail of acting. The reward for technical and artistic excellence in the film industry. The best thing to get in the entertainment industry, where creativity and technicality meet. The Academy Awards is an annual award ceremony that takes place in Hollywood around the Christmas period. Founded in 1929 by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science, it was created to unite the 5 branches of the film industry: actors, producers, directors, technicians, and writers. First being hosted at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, there were over 250 people in attendance, actors, critics, and members of the Academy alike, who came to see the best of the best in an exciting new world of acting, the movies. The award itself is made of Britannium, plated in 24-karat gold, a statue to reward the best in show. Literally, the voting board is made up of actors, filmmakers, and members of the board, making the award more credible as there are more people with experience who have a say, the ones who know the business and technically are the business. The actors, the ones who knows what it takes to captivate audiences, are the ones who can say with definite certainty that those who are nominated are the ones who are most deserving. These people are the ones who have the power to turn a film into a waste of money or a blockbuster hit. They have the power to potentially make or break a career. The Oscars manage to break a huge global audience each year, with aspiring film creators and actors watching around the world to see who has set the bar for being the greatest. In the realm of acting, technical excellence serves as a bedrock upon which compelling and authentic performances are built. Beyond the raw talent and emotional depth that actors bring to their roles, mastering the technical aspects of the craft is crucial for delivering impactful portrayals. This includes understanding and honing skills such as voice modulation, body language, facial expressions, and nuances of timing and pacing. Technical excellence ensures that actors can efficiently convey the intended emotions and messages to the audience, creating a powerful and immersive experience. Moreover, a command of technical aspects allows actors to adapt to various genres, styles, and production requirements, showcasing versatility and professionalism. Just as a skilled musician masters their instrument, an actor's technical prowess enhances their ability to captivate, inspire, and communicate the subtleties of the human experience, making it an indispensable element in the pursuit of excellence in the art of acting. Since the viewing figures are so high, many movies are postponed for release around Oscar season as a way of free marketing. William Friedkin, the director of The French Connection, once said, "It's the greatest promotion scheme that any industry ever devised for itself." Being the best can be challenging, so winning this award can be won easier if you manipulate the rules in your favour. Oscar bait. The term used for movies which are produced for the sole purpose of earning nominations from the Academy. These are almost always released after September, close to Oscar season, so the film is fresh in the minds of voters. It's quite easy to pick out an Oscar bait film, as they are normally high-budget period dramas or historical events, which have an explicit emphasis on cinematography, production design, and other technical makeups of a film. Michael Cimino's 1978 epic Vietnam War drama, The Deer Hunter, is the prime and first example of this manipulation occurring. When the film was tested, the reviews were bad. It was deemed too long and dragged out, that the audience would lose focus, with the film being over 3 hours long. The film was failing, so the executive producers needed help with marketing the film, for the general public, not just history buffs. They called in Alan Carr, a producer at Universal at the time. He saw the allure of the Oscars as a way of marketing. He figured that a film depicting the brutality of war and the depressiveness of the subject would not be attractive to viewers at the time. But if the movie was nominated for being the best of the best in entertainment, then surely it would attract viewership. It was deliberately released to one cinema screenings towards the tail end of the year to obtain the minimum requirements to be nominated for an Academy Award. The plan worked brilliantly and the film went on to receive 9 Oscars. Upon the news of the film receiving the Oscar nominations, it was released across America and the film went on to triple its budget. This was the first use of this marketing strategy and is now commonplace. Ironically, the film went on to become a success in other ways, not just a commercial success. It's been highly received on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, with an average film score of 8.4. But credit must be given to the man who created the idea and managed to fit the film from bust to beloved. Sometimes to be the best of the best, you must find a way for the rules to work in your favour. The Nobel Prize, the award for excellence and genius in science, literature and peace. The prize for innovation, where thinking outside the box can get you gold. Innovation, the process of introducing new ideas, methods, products or services that bring about positive change and improvement. It involves the creative application of knowledge and resources to solve problems, meet needs, or capitalise on opportunities in ways that depart from established practices. It often stems from a combination of vision, curiosity, and willingness to take risks, challenge the status quo, and pushing the boundaries of what is considered possible, whether incremental or disruptive. Innovation is a dynamic force that propels societies, industries, and individuals forwards, fostering progress and driving evolution in a constantly changing world. The Nobel Prize is a fund of sorts created by the will of Alfred Nobel in the late 1800s. Alfred Nobel was a Swedish scientist and innovator in chemistry, where his most known invention, dynamite, went on to make him one of the richest men in the world, one of the best and best at chemistry at the time. However, for him, to become the best of the best, he had to destroy.
Born in 1833 in Sweden to an engineer, Emanuel Nobel, he grew up with 8 siblings initially, yet only 4 of them made it through childhood. His father was an inventor, yet had several failed projects throughout his career, and as a result, constant relocation was necessary. Because Alfred never got a chance to go to school, Emanuel used a chunk of his earnings to have his son privately tutored in several languages and the sciences.
In 1850, Alfred began to work in Paris to study the uses of nitroglycerin, a chemical compound that was extremely explosive and unpredictable. Nearly a decade later, after working to produce arms for the Crimean War effort, he devoted all of his time on the study of explosives and finding a way to stabilise nitroglycerin. By 1863, he had made considerable progress, creating the detonator, allowing for a controlled way to set off explosives. However, a year later, in 1864, tragedy struck. A production factory used to produce nitroglycerin, where his younger brother worked, was set ablaze. The nitroglycerin was so unstable that it exploded and destroyed the entire factory, killing 5 men, including his younger brother. This incident had a tremendous effect on Nobel. The thing he had devoted so much time for, the thing he worked so hard to stabilise, had destroyed part of his family, part of his own blood, part of himself. But he never gave up, and 3 years later, he created the first working and one of the most stable explosives in the world, dynamite. Alfred Nobel didn't live long enough to see the damage of his invention, but he had it in mind, as he was prone to depression, quaintly so after the accident at the factory. Before he had died, he created the Nobel Foundation out of his own personal fortune. In the First World War, dynamite was used by British tunnellers to gain a considerable advantage. They will burrow through no man's land, then plant dynamite behind enemy trenches, and set it off. It helped break deadlocks, but also killed thousands of young men with aspirations in the process. Maybe they could have gone on to be innovators like Alfred, but we will never know. It could be said that he created this out of guilt for his inadvertent contribution to death and destruction, where the award is given to those who have conferred the greatest benefit to mankind. It motivates those who may have gone through the same peril that Alfred did, to help those see a light at the end of the tunnel, to inspire those who doubt the potential of their creation, and to create a sense of reassurance that will come at the end of their creative journey. The award itself is a green gold medal and is plated in 24 karat gold. Along with that, you receive a diploma and a cash prize of around $1 million US. It is regarded as the most prestigious award to win in the fields of study, of which it has 5 categories: physics, chemistry, medicine, peace and literature. There are also subcategories like the Ig Nobel Prize, the award for the light-hearted creativity, a sort of funny award, like discovering that you can make a frog float with magnets. With the nobility that comes with the award, a strange phenomenon starts to occur in winners of the prize. Sometimes, being the best of the best can make you one of the worst of the worst. Nobel's disease, or nobilitis, is a phenomenon that occurs when winners of the lottery embrace strange scientific ideas that are unsound and dismissible. With the award being very prestigious, winners may tend to feel some authority and empowerment. This has led to winners speaking on topics outside of their areas of expertise, which they don't have much knowledge on. This occurs because of the notoriety of the prize, being that of one of high intelligence and scientific brilliance, which can cause an ego that empowers winners to speak on other topics, making them feel as if they're a jack of all trades. One example of this happening is with Nicholas Tinbergen. He won the award in medicine in 1973 for his participation in discovering social behaviour patterns in animals. He is known for being one of the founding fathers of ethology, the study of animal behaviour. He was a professor at Oxford for a while and was a well-educated man when it came to biology. Within the same day of getting the award, he had caught the Nobel disease. He had promoted a discredited and extremely dangerous theory around autism called the refrigerator mother hypothesis. He promoted this during his speech upon receiving the prize. It is a theory that states autism can be caused by a lack of maternal care in a child. Sounds bizarre nowadays, doesn't it? But a few years later, he wrote a book that recommends how to cure and therapize autism. This theory is known as the holding theory. Now, you may know the case of Candace Newmaker, a young girl who had just been adopted by new parents and was suffering and ill-behaved, so they sought for holding therapy. This therapy happens by physically restraining a child, tickling them, depriving them of food, constantly staring at them, leaving them in the dark, shaking them, in hopes to get anger out of them in an attempt for them to become docile and tameable by their new parents. The method they used on Candace Newmaker was suffocation. They had taken all the air out of her body and she died. 4 caretakers had sat on her for 40 minutes before she died. Considering the man who studied the behaviour of animals recommended this is very strange. He was essentially promoting the torture of children. He was promoting the torture of children. Sometimes, becoming the best of the best can make you the worst of the worst. The evolution of human competition, especially in the last century or so, has made being the best of the best obtainable to pretty much anyone, like our young Marco, but it came at a cost to get there. It's a treacherous road to go down, and it takes a lot to go the whole 9 yards. You need to be creative like a Shrita, you have to sacrifice like Marco, you have to destroy like Alfred, you have to be sly like Alan Carr, you have to innovate. Even when you've made it to the top, you have to maintain it. It can make you delusional like Nicholas. It can make you feel depressing clarity like Marco and Alfred, but it has its rewards. You get some money and a medal if you're lucky. Sometimes, being the best of the best isn't all it's made out to be. It's how you get there. That's what matters. In reality, being the best of the best in modern human competition is subjective. Maybe a film you love isn't an Oscar winner. Maybe your favourite restaurant hasn't got a Michelin star. Maybe you haven't got a world record in the things you love doing. Maybe your favourite artist doesn't have a Grammy. Perhaps an invention that saved your life didn't win a Nobel Prize. What you think can differ from others, and that's good. That's what helped Marco and Alfred become the best of the best. They thought differently and acted on it. They innovated and created. So I pose that same question to you I asked long ago. Who is the best of the best? Maybe it's him, maybe this guy, maybe her, maybe this fella, maybe it's you. The question hasn't got a definite answer, with the means of approval being near infinite and entirely subjective. Every day, everyone is judged, especially with the creation of social media, where you can compare yourself with everyone and everything. A Guinness World Record book in your pocket to look at who's the best of the best. Persevering despite comparison and competition is what really counts. What you've learned is what really counts. You are what really counts. And as Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the theft of joy.